This body of work is perhaps having to do with my fascination with past lives. I feel like I'm dipping in to a certain place and exploring it and coming back out, and the end result is the photo.
It's just a very high-stress job on set. If things are out of focus or if the film jams in the camera, there's a lot of problems. So I get really close to my camera team because of that sheer stress and those sheer hours of stress.
There are photographers out there that, unfortunately, they give photographers a bad name, whether they are scamming models or pretending to be something they're not.
The whole thing began with a top hat I found in the back of an antique shop that was not in the best of condition, but for some reason I had to have it. $65. I don't have a top hat. Doesn't everybody need one of these? Anyway, so that hung around for a while, and eventually I developed a character for the top hat, and I needed some means by which to make the shots look authentic, early 1900s, mid-1800s. So, of course, shooting through the window helped, and that's kind of where it started. And then, kind of like when you're writing a poem, you write a few lines, and then they help you take it to the bottom of the page and help guide the poem. It's the same idea. You get your main idea, and others shoot off of it. And eventually, I just picked it up and I headed over to this window over here, facing out onto the balcony, and it just fit perfectly. I thought I was going to have to come up with some clever means by which to keep it in place, and it just fits snug, so that was brilliant. Perhaps the window and the hat knew before I did what they were going to do for me. I'd have to say my work is leaning toward the classical. You know, I don't think this particular series is endeavoring to be a really contemporary venture. It's not modern. It's not plasticky. It's, you know, it's murky and black and white, and it's kind of old world to me. And as I went along, combining theater with photography was what started to happen. And out of it developed the character, the top hat character. Why? I don't know, but I suppose I have quite a fascination with turn-of-century characters and the poets that originated from that time, like Arthur Rimbaud, for example. That whole time era fascinates me. And now I'm just into it, and I don't quite know who he is, but I think he's among those characters you'll see in some bistro in Paris, probably having a bad habit of drinking too much absinthe or something like that, talking with the other artists and getting into the occasional brawl or something. I think anybody in photography has a bit of an obsession with windows, so I just started shooting through here and immediately went around to the other side and started catching my silhouettes with the top hat on. Not intending to look sinister, but you can't escape the, it's either Charles Dickens-esque character or straight out of, you know, Jack the Ripper, which was not the intention. So right now, this is Chancy at work, getting all the technical stuff down. You set the timer, you run around, and a character entitled The Stranger takes over, and that's how it goes. These pieces are all about telling a little mini story, all concentrated into an image. In order to succeed, have to draw people in certain levels, and the levels create the story. I'm not shooting a particular fascinating color in your face. I'm shooting a situation, a circumstance with characters. Perspective plays such a major part in what I'm doing. The impact of the visual. Photography is two-dimensional, and I'm really striving to create the impact of, say, a third dimension. It's all the art of illusion. I find working with myself a combination of things. I definitely lose my cool. I occasionally am concerned about the woman who lives upstairs because I tend to swear a lot when things go wrong and things fall over. A lot of the shooting process uses props. Things collapse on you just as you're ready to click the shot. I also enjoy it thoroughly. You get into a momentum, there's a current happening, there's a flow. I've always got music to accompany me, so I feel like it's dream work. I think reading somebody's poetry, hearing their music, is to spend some time visualizing what the words are saying and where they're taking you. And that in itself is the trip. That's the exchange between yourself and the artist's work. I spent a lot of time being alone through living in rural situations as a kid. And because of that, your imagination kicks in. And I had a romantic relationship with solitude, with the woods, an open meadow, anything like that. I pretty well romanticized every aspect of life. So the photos themselves are basically a celebration of the land and how I feel about it. It's like writing a poem, a love poem about somebody you're in love with. The photos are that for me. What I have here is a fraction of some of the props that have gone into taking my character elsewhere. He needed to get up from the bistro table. I wanted him out on the streets. He needed to get out from behind a window and not just be a silhouette. And I don't have access to old Paris or early London, and so I created, and this is where illusion comes in, through puppets. I got him out on the streets, walking around. I got him in a horse carriage and entering a bistro. I got him conversing with other people, and which, once again, without models, I have to be resourceful, so I drew and cut out the rest of where I needed him to go. I think inevitably where you've been, what you've done, what you've been working on, that's what's going to come out in your work. Hopefully, something is born of all that activity, and that's where this character comes from. Just all those things combined have given me the stranger character. This body of work, being entitled The Stranger, is perhaps having to do with my fascination with past lives. I feel like I'm dipping in to a certain place and exploring it, certainly enjoying it, and coming back out, and the end result is the photo. And if it's a decent photo, that's the reward for my very strange behavior. Oh, geez, I forgot the frosted glass. I'm gonna have to take care of that.